food for you. So we're looking forward to the whole evening. It's going to be a great time.
And the proceeds benefit Dakota State University Athletics, right?
They do, and I want to say up front, we got a Dave Baccarni, who's an alumnus of ours. Dave and Jill, his wife, underwrote the whole thing, wrote us out a $5,000 check to get us started, to make sure we had everything, so that the first ticket we sell is all profit. And then Russ has also got 4 other organizations, Pro Pheasants and Ducks Unlimited and the Elk, and fortunately I'm drawing a blank on the 4th one, but 4 other organizations that have sponsored as well, and they're going to have booths there, and so it's going to be a great fundraising evening for us, as well as just a great DSU event for all of our TAC members and everyone else. So, December 1st starts at 5 o'clock and runs from 5 to 6:30 with the meal, and then at 6:30 the live auction. We're really going to have a great time, and we're looking forward to having 200, 300 people come and join us. And the last thing is tickets at the door. Individual tickets are $25, couples are $50. But if you want to buy a table of 8, you can purchase those right now. Just give the athletic department or Russ Olson a call, and those are $200. So it's $25 a seat there.
So do we need to buy tickets in advance, or can you buy them at the door?
No, only the tables. We're trying to pre-sell those. Everything else will just be at the door.
Okay. Very good. So we're underway here at the DSU Fieldhouse. Midland, Nebraska Warriors against the Dakota State Trojans. Midland get things started here. We've got a wide open jumper as Kevin Daniels falls back on the defensive effort there. So Damon Overton, the senior from East Moline, Illinois, hits the first shot. It's 3-0 Midland. Here's Daniels. He comes right back. That's off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound for Ian Bars. And Tanner Heiser, boom, he hits the 3. Coach Dittman, Tanner's off to a good start this year, both offensively and defensively.
I've talked to Gary a few times, and Gary's really been happy with the leadership role that Tanner's had. And just like you say, he's been a leader offensively and defensively. He's been a great communicator with the team. He's really got a great engine, great motor in him, and everyone else picks up off his energy. So I know Gary is really pleased with how Tanner's playing.
That's a pretty good analogy, really, kind of the motor thing you talked about, because he is going all the time, and to excel at defense, that's kind of what you need, isn't it?
Well, it's critical that your point guard is a big part of running your ball team. It's not to say that Michael Jordan was a pretty good team person and he played the shooting guard, but the ball is in the hands of your point guard a lot, and they need to be good decision makers. And when they're great, when they're playing great and they're distributing great, everybody gets involved in it. That's why Gary's team is ranked 14th in the country.
And Gary thinks there's a potential for a couple more players to really improve their defense during the course of the year. Marquise, who sang the national anthem, I think could be a premier defender.
Well, I think, again, he talks about how his teams really develop as the season progresses, and one of the big things that they get great at is their team defense. They're pretty athletic and they're good individual, but they have breakdowns right now that just won't occur in January and February when they've played together more, when they've had a little more practice, and when they've had a little more of Gary's instruction.
Justin Folkers goes off the glass. Now, 8-5 Trojan lead. 3 3-pointers for the two teams combined and 2 2-pointers. So some serious offense so far. Goes back door.
And I'm guessing both coaches are thinking their team defense isn't quite where it needs to be quite yet. Offense is a little ahead of their team defense.
Exactly. So now Folkers comes back. He's thinking about glass, but he goes out to Heiser. Long 3 off the front of the rim. Rebound by Don Henderson. Henderson, 6'6" junior from Chicago. There's some height on this Midland team. There's a reason I think they're pretty athletic, and that's part of the reason they're probably ranked high.
Well, it wasn't too many years ago that they were in the Final Four of the NEI Men's National Tournament. So in the last, I would say, 6 to 7 years, they've really taken some huge steps forward with their men's program.
And it looks like a deep bench. I can't count all the players over there unless they brought a JV team too. They dressed. They're going to have to boost their uniform budget for next year. 16:37 remaining first half. Here's Daniels, gets a step back. He waits. Now Heiser, he slices through, kicks it to Boomsma for the 3. Boomsma!
That's really pretty inside-out basketball. A couple of passes, and then Tanner makes the penetration. Could have taken a shot, but it would have been a tough shot. Kicks it out, gets a really easy look for a 3.
Yeah, we have a number of three-point shooters that if they square up their feet and get a good look, that's a high percentage shot.
Yep.
And again, Alex Starkle going strong. He now has 4 points, two pointers. 11-9 Trojans lead. Here's Ian Bars. Now Boomsma gets the slash, and he'll be fouled. First foul of the game. That's going to be on Diamante McKinley, 6'1" senior from Milwaukee. And the first substitution comes in as McKinley out. I don't know, every time you foul, do you come out, Coach? Is that how that works?
Maybe if you have 17 people sitting on the bench, that's their method of moving people around and keeping everybody happy.
15:42 remaining. First half, 2 20-minute halves. Starkle, oh, nice pass inside. Don Henderson. Coach Garner looks to his bench as soon as someone goes in. At least he's looking at assistant coach Mike Larson. Oh, nice feed underneath. Volkers thought he got fouled on that one, but let's call that good defense on Midland's part. Bars takes a hit, and that's going to be a turnover, and the Trojans are going to come up with that. Maybe just a little too much pace on that, Coach, for Midland?
Well, he did get it out of control a little bit, but I'm going to tell you that Midland's got a young man in the middle there that's going to be a load for us tonight, and then on top of it, he just had an assist, so if he's going to be the scorer that he started out and be able to distribute, that's going to be a challenge for us, because as soon as we help, he's found the open man.
Yeah, that's and they've got a couple of guys low who seem to be able to finish that thing. Some three-quarter court pressure from Midland, and Ian Bars gets bumped. That'll be on the floor, so Trojans will take the ball out. That's first foul on Henderson. And there's the sub, Coach. Although I see now McKinley is back in too, so I think they do have a pretty fast rotation. Bobby Farquhar gets in and immediately has a great backdoor pass to Tanner Heiser, and there's a timeout Midland.
That's one of those plays where you tell your athletes they're going to go back door, they're going to go back door, they're going to go back door, and still Dakota State executes it perfectly.
That is beautiful. So, Coach, can we talk briefly about the football season just wrapped up? A nice big conference victory at Aberdeen this weekend. Another fine season for Trojan football.
Well, it was. They finished 6-4 for the year. That's the third consecutive winning season, and that hasn't happened since the 1975, 76, and 77 teams. So Josh is really pleased with that. He knows he's got some great offensive talent in the skill positions returning next year for their senior years. So I know he's excited about that. He's probably a little concerned that he was 5-1 at one point, and then his defensive line really took some hits in the with injuries and so forth. So my assumption is they're going to spend a little time trying to not only rebuild but add a lot of depth to that position next year and stay out of the problems that the injuries caused him this year.
Just chat for a minute about who might be a future Hall of Famer, Cole Potter. Your thoughts? There's some really talented people on the team. Cole has been outstanding on the defensive line. You've got Austin Opdahl that just broke all the receiving records this year and was one of the top receivers in the NAIA with the number of touchdowns he had. Jacob Giles obviously put up some huge numbers, especially early in the year when they were averaging about 504 yards a ball game. And then they had a great running game with Johnson this year. So I think when we 10, 15 years from now, we're going to be inducting quite a few members of this team into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, of course, Potter being named National NAIA Defensive Player of the Week this last week. That's the second time this season that a Trojan has been given that honor. Jacob Giles early in the season was named National Offensive Player of the Week. So as you mentioned, Giles, like, 28 touchdowns or something this year?
You know, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but him and Austin were quite a combination.
Yeah.
And again, I think Austin, if he didn't lead the country in receiving touchdowns, he was certainly in the top 5.
So congratulations to the Trojans football team. Here's Starkle again. Farquhar gets the defense done. Farquhar just finished one off at the other end. He has 2 points. Now Heiser throws it low. Nice recovery, but then Farquhar throws it out. We're at 15 all, 12:57 remaining first half. Overall, pretty good play, some turnovers, and Midland has had a few missed shots inside, but overall, a sound game.
I would say both teams are probably shooting in the high 55, 60% range. And, you know, it started off with a lot of threes, and now it's settled into some good inside play.
And that was kind of the story of the weekend, really, is that both the Trojans and their opponents were kind of all in the 50s. Those GPAC teams that we met down at the Sanford Classic, if you're shooting 55% yourself, you're happy. If you're giving up 55, you're probably not quite as happy. Here's Heiser on good defense. A lot of pressure. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Clayton Shepard, a senior from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, there was no complaint by the coach from Midland, so it must have been the correct call, right?
Coaches can see usually a little bit better than what the officials can through their rose-colored glasses. Here's Daniels, picks up the screen from Farquhar. And a wide open 3 for Boomsma off the front of the rim. Good boxing out by Starkle. And Midland advances it quickly. Knocked away. They'll call a foul just at the last second. You might see as the camera pans over there, Kyle Kilgore on the bench in street clothes. A bone bruise on his knee on Saturday's game against Dakota Wesleyan has sidelined him for a couple weeks. No serious injury out of that. But the orthopedic guy said a couple weeks and drain it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the good news is structurally there's nothing wrong with any of the ligaments or tendons. But unfortunately, bone bruises, they knock you out for a while. They're kind of like a high ankle sprain. They'll probably keep you out for 2 to 3 weeks, and so that'll be an opportunity for some of our other inside players to get some playing time that Kyle would have most certainly had.
It certainly is, and probably Farquhar is probably the guy who gets the biggest jump in minutes. Although you may see some. Here's Farquhar inside with a jump hook. That baby hook could really pay off. He's got the strength to get close enough. Nice play by Farquhar, and now 4 points for him. Heiser leads the Trojans in scoring with 5. Starkle is thinking about going to the basket every time. He gets a little jump hook, and that goes. He might kick it out once in a while, but so far he's pivoting and going to the basket just about every time he gets that.
I'll tell you what, those two young men both have pretty broad shoulders. They're going to get after each other throughout the night. And
a slick play from Jacob Watkins-Jenkins. He goes up high. That's something Boomsma can't defend. Here's Heiser slicing through. Now gets the kick out. Boomsma starts to drive. Trojans regroup. They run the triangle. Heiser, a slash. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Daniels is going to go all the way. Oh, beautiful left hand. Boy, it's an advantage, coaches, that if you go up that high, you can choose which hand you want.
Well, and they did a really nice job of reversing the ball at least twice. They had everybody touched the ball, good patience with it, and ended up with a shot right at the front of the rim.
Both teams on the floor. That'll be a jump ball. Ball possession arrow goes to the Trojans. So some substitutions for DSU. Marquise Chapman and Justin Folkers in the game. Folkers returning. Chapman still resting his vocal cords from the national anthem. He's ready to play now. Trojans trail by 1, 10:41 remaining first half.
Tell you, if I did that, I'd have to go rest someplace because my adrenaline would be so high in anticipation of that. I'd have to calm down for at least 15 minutes.
Well, he just went through warm-ups too, and that can, most players like to exert themselves.
I'm just curious if he was humming in the warm-up to get his vocal cords ready to go as well as his body.
I just used to think of Sweet Georgia Brown. I don't think when I'm warming up, something that can fire you up a little bit.
I remember in high school I ran with a guy out of Custer. He was a great distance runner. And he would sing the Star Spangled Banner as he was running the 2 mile. And he had it down that it was basically about 67 seconds was his quarter time. And that's how long, and he'd sing that. And it was his rhythm so that he could hit the time that he wanted in a race.
It's like wearing a watch without having to carry something extra.
Well, what would throw you off is you're running alongside of him and you're wondering, how does he have enough energy and breath to sing the national anthem? I'm panting for all the oxygen
so it was
I
audible.
Could get.
It wasn't just in his mind.
He would just be da, 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 da.
We'll see if we can get him to sing at one of the Trojan games. I don't know if he's still hanging around, but looks like Ian Barse set to check back in. Barse, the junior from Rapid City. Here's a timeout. 9:49 remaining, first half. Trojans trailing by 3. Coach, we'll let you go here in a second, but one quick thing on volleyball. That season ended last night, first round of the North Star Athletic Association tournament. A slow start to volleyball, but they really came on a lot more during the conference season.
They did. I think Amy was really pleased with the last month. Like you say, they had a slow start. They had a lot of close ball games, and they would end up losing in that 5th set. And then they got into conference play, got into a little groove. Our volleyball conference is just a lot better than it's ever been. Certainly the addition of Viterbo, which is a top 5 program in the country, makes it a lot better. But you've got Bellevue, that's a top 20 program, Jamestown, top 20 program. We've had 20-win seasons for 2 years in a row. Valley City, those schools are certainly getting better. So the future's really bright in the North Star for the volleyball programs. And again, we've got one of our top players in the entire league with Carly Roselle returning for her senior year. So I know Amy's out recruiting heavily. The state tournaments are starting this week. And her and her assistant are living in gyms, but they've got a lot to build on for next year, and I know she's very optimistic.
Yeah, some real up-and-comers, McKenna DeMoe, Hannah Bauer. You've got other hitters. I mean, I agree. I think there's a bright future for Trojan volleyball. I did have some great seasons, of course. Some kind of top 5 or 10 record book. Chelsea Davis looked like she'll end up, I think, number 4 in career digs.
Well, that's why I say these kids who are juniors and seniors, they've had 3 good years in a row, and when you're playing at that level, then obviously you're gonna break a number of records in the record book, and you saw it the last 2 years, and there'll be a number of things, and again, next year I'm sure Carly will be breaking more than a few of the kill records and block records overall.
Absolutely. So now Midland comes back, tries to fire the dagger, but no good. Daniels loses it for a moment, gets it back. Now Boomsma thinks about the 3. He puts it up. Boomsma!
He's pretty much got the perfect name for that shot, doesn't he?
Let's get a nickname for some of these other guys, but you're right, that surname is perfect. 22-23, Trojans back to within 1. Boomsma 6 points on a pair of 3s. 8:50 remaining first half. Again, trying to defend that high pick and roll. And Boomsma doing his job. And that's off a foot. That'll go off to the Trojans. Nice defense. Coach Garner clapping. Yeah, that high pick and roll is a tough one to defend with the speed of that point guard. He can almost break the double.
Yeah, and then they've got a quality post player rolling, and screen and roll basketball is tough to do when you've got that 2 combinations. Well, John, I'm going to check
All
out
right.
now. I appreciate talking and
Thanks,
look
Jeff.
forward to seeing you down the road.
We can't wait. That's head coach and athletic director Jeff Dittman. We thank him for coming up to the booth, been generous with his time. Trojans trail 22-23, 8:26 remaining, first half. Andy, Coach Dittman's been generous coming up and sharing some views for us, don't you think?
Yeah, he sure has. He's been a great voice in terms of athletics.
Here's Daniels, spins, goes to left hand, rolls off, no good, but Trojans are going to come up with it. They're going to call a foul on Midland. 8:09 remaining, first half. Trojans trail by 1, 22-23. That foul is going to be on Nick Harden, freshman from Oak Lawn, Illinois. Fifth team foul on the Warriors. Trojans have 3. Here's Folkers, gets a screen. Bars, nice grab, and Boomsma off the back of the rim. And Ian almost gets another offensive rebound. He's had a couple. There's the matchup, but Heiser comes to help. Folkers challenges the 3. (25-22). Henderson now with 9 points. Here's Daniels. Boomsma goes to 3 again. This one's going to be short. And Starkel with the rebound. And off his knee, that'll go Trojan ball. A few turnovers, Andy, on Midland. Otherwise, both teams, shooting 50%. It's a pretty good night.
It sure is. If you can do that 50% or higher in a game, you're shooting the ball pretty well.
Trojans actually shooting above that 3-point percentage, 4 for 7. Here's Daniels. No good. 25-22. Midland leads by 3. Warriors again get it down to Starkel. He turns, spins on Folkers. Bounce off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound. The coach isn't going to like that one. Henderson now 5 for 5 from the field. He has 11 points. Boomsma. Daniels throws to a wide open Folkers. Folkers off the glass and pulls the Trojans back to within 3, 24-27. We're approaching the 6-minute mark here in the first half. Henderson's starting to put it together, Andy. 13 first half points. We're going to have to do something about that.
Yeah, but he's got a little bit more room to score to catch up with Heiser's first half game earlier this year. 28, but he's putting in a good showing for Midland.
This one will go against Bars. Again, he's been active on the offensive glass. Four rebounds leads the Trojans. Brendan Boomsma's 6 points leads them in scoring. Kevin Daniels, 5 assists. That's a nice first half assist. He could be heading for a double-double before this is over.
The next Dwayne Wade.
Starkel goes to left hand. This one's short again, and Chapman comes up with the glass. Marquise Chapman. You think about, nice over the top. And a beautiful shot for Folkers. He was fading away a little bit from the glass, but a nice play by Justin. A sophomore center. He now has 6 points. Boomsma gets screened off. Boom. There's one for McKinley. That's his first field goal. He was 0 for 3 before this. Chapman, he thinks about just inside. That'll be a 2 just inside the arc. Nevertheless, nice swish for Marquise. 28-31, his first 2 points of the night. His first shot, I believe. Now go to Starkle again. They like to run things through there, but he likes to shoot it. It tends not to come back out. Alex Starkle now 4 for 9. He has 8 points. Heiser to Chapman. This time it's a 3. He gets bumped. And Heiser's going to come up with a rebound. Shot clock resets. Oh my! Kevin Daniels slices through, takes the contact, somehow has enough to be able to finish that thing off.
Yeah, so that's like a LeBron James move.
Oh, yeah. I think he was a little surprised there wasn't contact here. Here's Starkle. He goes to the basket, picks up the foul. Trojans not in foul trouble at all. Chapman picks up his second, but maybe importantly, Folkers, no fouls yet. Daniels, no fouls. Just 1 each for Boomsma and Heiser. Bars and Farqua come back in. So it looks like it's a 7-deep rotation so far, Andy. So we haven't yet seen Nathaniel Rowan, who we'd expect is a very valuable player. And of course, Kilgore in street clothes. Heiser's, of course, been logging a lot of minutes. He's had some 20-minute halves so far. Boom, there's Tanner Heiser with a 3. That's why you keep him on the floor.
That indeed it is. Keep your best players on the floor.
8 points for Tanner, and the Trojans pull back to within 1. 3:07 remaining first half. Good defense by the Trojans, and Bars is going to come up with it again. Here's Heiners to Farqua. Daniels thinks about 3, now spins. He goes out. Oh, Boomsma comes up with it. Good play by Brendan just to keep that thing alive. Heiser to Bars, now to Farqua. Kicks it back to Heiser. And that's off by Ian. Ian, it's his first miss of the night. They'll call an offensive. Nope, they're going to call a block on that one. And that might be on Bars. That would be his second foul if it is. Nope, that's on Daniels, his first. Here's Nathaniel Round. All I have to do, Andy, is say something, and these guys come off the bench.
Guys, can you say the Trojans have a 20.0 run?
What a good idea. I never thought of that. I was thinking next about having you come in.
Well, I do have eligibility. Got 4 years.
And a cold.
Well, yeah, that probably doesn't help my case with Gardner.
I wouldn't try it tonight. Maybe another night. So that one's on Farqua, his first. So Rowan, again, a valuable part of this team. He's still just a junior. Only 2 seniors on this squad, Kilgore and Heiser, although they're both very valuable. Bars, Daniels, Farqua, Boomsma, all these other guys are juniors. Folkers just a sophomore. Here's Daniels to Rowan. Heiser. 2:10 remaining. Farqua gets it low. Kicks back out now, gets a high screen. Daniels wants to slice around, he does. Glass, good. Kevin Daniels off the high screen from Bobby Farqua. 6 points for Daniels now. Again, he also has 6 assists. Nice first half for Kevin Daniels. They go to Lotus Starkle, but they'll call using your hands on Farqua. They'll get Folkers in right away. Farqua with his second foul. Yeah, that's a judgment call, but generally use your hands. You don't get away with that. Use your forearm. I mean, there's different things. Coach Garner giving a little coaching there to Bobby, trying to get that subtle message across. Oh, nice glass. Ian Barse is really bringing the glass tonight. 6 rebounds here in the first half. He could be heading for the double-double. Heiser off a foot. They'll call that kick and Trojan ball. DSU leads by 1, 35-34. Again, 2 top quality NAIA Division II teams. If I had time, Andy, I'd count the number of players over there at Midland. There must be at least a dozen reserves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
14.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So some guys are in sweat clothes rather than uniforms. So
I'm guessing they're in their JV team.
Right, or they're inactive for injury or something. Oh, nice move inside, but it's not going to come up with a basket for Midland. Cross-court pass to Daniels. He's patient. Now Round screens away. They'll call an offensive foul on Kevin Daniels. He doesn't argue. And Boomsma is going to come in. 2 fouls for Daniels. Coach trying to keep him out of foul trouble, so he will sit for the rest of the half, just 1:06. Again, no real foul trouble for the Trojans or the Warriors. Strong move inside for Wayshawn Watson, the junior from Park Forest, Illinois. A Nebraska team, quite a few Illinois players on this year's Brendan Boomsma. Boomsma! 9 points on 3 threes. And the Trojans with a 2-point lead. And Midland comes back. McKinley hits the 3. They take a 1-point lead, and now the shot clock turned off. Game clock set at 20 seconds. Heiser out top. He's guarded by Watson. Watson has his hand on him. I can't let too much of that go on. Now he backs off. 10 seconds. He sits to get a high screen. Oh, nice move inside. Blocked. And they will call that out of bounds. Actually, that's a nice amount of time, Andy. 3 seconds. It's going to be enough to get a good shot off, but not enough for Midland to do something in case they steal it or rebound it. So it's not 1 second where you have to, grab and shoot. You've got a chance to dribble, drive, or make one pass. Wiping up some sweat there. Again, 3 seconds. Midland has a single-point lead. Trojans would love to retake that for the halftime. Here's an out-of-bounds play. Goes to Boomsma. He fumbles it for a second. Gets the shot off. It's going to be too much. And that's the end of the first half. The score, Midland Warriors 39, Trojans 38. So we're going to take a break here from the DSU Fieldhouse. We'll come back in just a few minutes. We'll get some first half statistics, a little bit look at the first half, and then second half of basketball here at DSUathletics.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dakota State University Fieldhouse. Midland Warriors leading the Trojans 39-38. And so for some stats from the first half, here's Andy Hunter.
For Dakota State, leading scorer is none other than Brennan Boomsma, 9 points, 8 for Tanner Heiser, 6 each for Kevin Daniels and Justin Folkers. For Midland, their leading scorer is none other than Don Henderson, 13 points, 9 points for Alex Starkle. Leading rebounder for Midland is Don Henderson with 9. For Dakota State, their leading rebounder is Ian Barch with 6, 5 for Tanner Heiser. Total field goal percentage, 53 for Midland and 49 for Dakota State. Free throw percentage, none for Dakota State. Shot 0 free throws in the first half. Midland was 3 for 8, 38% so far from the line.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, Henderson really putting the game together. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 for 7 shooting from the field. Not likely to be a triple-double, however. No assists so far. And again, Ian Barr, 6 rebounds first half. And Daniels with 6 assists in the first half. So we're looking forward to that. We're underway. Second half. 2 top quality teams here at the Dakota State University Fieldhouse. Midland Warriors of Nebraska meeting the Dakota State Trojans. Midland starts out with the ball. It's a high screen from Starkle. Overton, and he hassles Folkers a little bit. Justin gets it out. Daniels crossover, kicks it back out to Ian Barsh for 3. In and out. We're just underway, 19-19 remaining in the game. Overton, that's an offensive foul. It's his first. No foul trouble, really, as we mentioned, for either team. A couple players with 2. Nick Harden for Midland, and 2 each for Farqua, Daniels, and Chapman. Here's Heiser. Behind the back goes Glass. No good. Trojans 2-2 on the year. Warriors 2-0. Of course, Trojan just came off a split in that Sanford Classic. That's a 4-year deal. Same 4 teams will play roughly this time each year. And they'll rotate who the host is. Next year, host Dakota State. This year it was Mount Marty. Folkers goes Glass. Too hard. No score yet this first half. Neither team quite getting it together.
Second half.
Oh yeah, that's where we are. Plus, I don't want to jinx it, right? As soon as I say that, then next team, and Starkles goes Glass, and that's good.
Well, if you say it, you jinx it, and you just said it, so you jinxed it.
So what should I say this time?
I know, the DSU will win the game.
Okay, DSU will win the game. I'm not even sure I have to say that for that to come true. 18 minutes remaining in the game. Here's Folkers goes Glass, no good. Starkle boxes him out. Overton, he's either chewing on his mouth guard or he's got gum or something coming out of his mouth. Isn't that Stephen Curry thing, to be chewing on your mouth guard instead of actually wearing it?
Yep. That is definitely a Stephen Curry move.
Excellent DSU student crowd tonight. The student section almost full. Nice non-student as well. And a steal by Ian Bars. He sent to Folkers and gets it back. Gets bumped a little bit. He goes inside, a beautiful pass. That's the way to play basketball. And Trojans pull back to within 1. Each team scored just 1 field goal here in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Doesn't seem to be quite the same offensive intensity as the first half. Step back two, and that's good. Diamante McKinley, senior from Milwaukee. He now has 7 points. Henderson again leads both teams in scoring with 13. Oh, nice cutting Heiser, but couldn't quite get it to him. Daniels goes baseline, gets bumped. Bars for another three. Bounces around and no good. That's still a good shot, Andy. Even though it didn't go this time, that's a good look.
Yeah, it was a good veteran presence by Fulker, seeing the open guy and passing it for a chance for assist and rather taking it himself. And Barsh is just so close.
Yep. 43-40.
I think
Midland.
I think we have to examine that basket hoop again.
Yeah, a little lid on that.
Yeah, plastic, yeah.
Look at a crossover from Heiser, and he gets Boomsma open for three. Boomsma! And he ties the game at 43. Brendan now with 12. He leads the Trojans in scoring. McKinley between the legs. Who's going to come up with a loose ball? It's going to be Heiser. Oh, man. McKinley, I thought, had it for a second. Now Chapman, now it's going to be stolen. Boy, they've got some quick defenders. Heiser's the only one back. Nothing he can do. Back to 45-43. Tanner, one foul, but you don't want to get him in trouble. He has played every minute of this game so far. Heiser for three, rolls off and no good. Andy, I wouldn't be surprised if this is as many three-point attempts as the Trojans have had all year. Here's Starkle, finishes it off. Truth is, Trojans 7 for 19, so 19 three-point attempts in the first half plus about 5 minutes. Bobby Farquhar comes in. Folkers gets a rest. Justin's looks like he's in better shape this season, that he'll have to carry more and more minutes as Kilgore is out. But even as Kyle comes back, Justin's an important part of this, so we're glad to see him fit coming into the season. Appears to be injury-free as well. He does wear some things on his knees, but several players do. That's not indicative of an injury. Midland now stretches it out to 5 points, 48-43. Again, just 8 players so far for the Trojans, and Nathaniel Rowan, not the 8th player, not very much on this. Here's Chapman. He's asking for the call, didn't get it. Must have gotten a piece of that because it was short of the basket. We're crossing the 15-minute mark. Pass inside. They give up that offensive rebound. And that was costly. Now 50-43, Midland's biggest lead of the game. You'd guess they'd call timeout pretty soon. Bar's set to check back in. Farquhar bumps, spins. Oh, nice jump hook. Andy, I like that baby hook. That could really pay off for the Trojans.
Yeah, it sure was. Farquhar has a good size advantage too, so he just has to lay it in there.
Offensive rebound again for Midland. We have Farquhar listed 6'7", junior forward from Allen, Texas. Now Henderson, no good, and Chapman with the rebound. We're under 14 minutes. Again, good perimeter defense by the Warriors. Chapman looks down low to Farquhar. Little baseline turnaround, little long. One thing about having such depth on this team is that you can play aggressively knowing that if you get in foul trouble, there's plenty of players behind you. So we're going to call timeout, 52-45. So let's get a quick statistical update. Shooting down slightly for the Trojans. They're at 43% now. Midland still a steaming 51%. 3-point attempts. Trojans now shot 20 of them, 7 for 20 for 35%. Still, Trojans have not yet shot a free throw in this game. I think that might jump out at Coach Garner later on, that maybe not getting aggressive enough going to the basket. Rebound edge goes to Midland, 29-20. Assists about the same. Steals, Midland 4, Trojans 2. Individually, just as Andy mentioned, Don Henderson leading all scorers. Check out these numbers: 17 points, 15 rebounds, 8 for 11 from the field. He's putting it together. Now he adds 1 assist. 14 points for Alex Starkel on 6 for 12 shooting. For the Trojans, Brendan Boomsma, 4 for 8 from three-point land. No 2-point field goal attempts tonight. 8 points each for Heiser and Folkers. We're back to live action. Bars on the wing. Crossover. He's trying to get it to Folkers. Folkers inside out. Not much room there for Heiser. A scoop shot, no good. Ian Bars with another rebound. And there's an official timeout here. Let's see what's going on. Bars was listed as 2 offensive rebounds in the first half, but it seemed like more than that. I don't know if this is a clock issue, either game clock or shot clock. We don't get announcements of those things. Nevertheless, Trojans will have the ball under their own basket. 52-45. Trojans trail 13:02. Bars gets the ball. Backs in. Takes the bump. Gets hit. It might have been blocked. Midland advances it quickly. And boom, there goes McKinley for 3. He's now 2 for 5 from beyond the arc. But 10 points for him and a 10-point lead for Midland, their biggest of the game. Nice pick and roll. Bars will take the mid-range jumper. That'll be short. Offensive glass off the back of the rim. Folkers, he's holding his back a little bit. Barkwa immediately gets up. Garner saw it. And Folkers is not only holding his back, but wincing. Yep, he's coming off right now. We'll call that. Injury timeout. Actually, injury substitution. I don't think you have to take a full timeout, but can't tell if that's spasms or if he got a kind of a kidney punch or what that was, but he's heading to the training room with DSU athletic trainer Brad Gilbert. 57-45, basket was good, so now a 12-point lead for the Warriors. Trojans' top 2 big men both out, and Bars with the left hand. Kind of an Aaron Walter left hand shot there. 57-47, Bars with 5 points now. And they'll call the traveling before that. No complaining from McKinley. As many players as have dressed for Midland, it appears as though they've only played 8. They have at least 7 more guys. Oh, nice pass to Farquhar. Oh, dunks. That always gets the students fired up. 49-57. Trojans within range. 11-17 remaining. Off the back of the rim. Heiser gets hit. They're letting him play on some of these. Heiser's going to foul him. That you could see that coming. Frustration. He thinks he was hit. He's looking at his arms. And I think he was hit too. He was hit not only on the rebound, but maybe on the steal. And so when Watts Jenkins came down, picks it, and heads to the line, you knew Tanner was going to make sure he did not get a layup out of that, force him to shoot from the free throw line. Just the second foul for Tanner. First one rolls off. Again, free throw percentage not so hot for the Warriors. They're 4 for 10 from the line, but again, Trojans have not yet shot a free throw in this game. We might ask the coach about that after the game. Now 4 for 11 as Watts Jenkins misses both free throws. 8-point Warrior lead and a whistle, and they're going to call. Yeah, they might tighten this up a little bit, Andy, don't you think?
Yes, for sure.
There's been a lot of contact. It wouldn't surprise me if they call a few whistles now to kind of get this thing back under control. I believe that was on Clayton Shepard, his first.
When they need to keep their composure, though, it kind of happens in these situations, in these games, when you have, when you're down by quite a lot, and and things don't go away. You just have to keep your emotions together and just work hard.
Absolutely.
So they have to stay together as a team.
Boomsma with the defensive rebound. Brendan brings it up. Again, there's the quick hands of Midland.
They're getting pretty hackled over there. I'm surprised that they're not calling any fouls there.
Here's Heiser. Yeah, they're really active defenders. Here's Daniels. Fakes the three, then shoots it. No good. Rebound to Harden. Players dive on the floor. Who's going to get that? Farqua is going to pick that up. Still loose, and Midland's going to come up with it. Good hustle on both sides. And we're going to call the officials together. They're going to talk about this a little bit.
Loose ball foul in Midland?
Maybe. They sometimes call traveling on that. It's pretty rare. They don't want to discourage hustle. We'll see what the call is here. And we're going to call a timeout. 57-49, Midland Warriors leading the Dakota State Trojans. We're just under 10 minutes remaining in the game.
Congratulations to Tanner Heiser, as he is the first recipient of the 2016-2017 North Star Athletic Association Men's Basketball Player of the Week, announced by the conference office Monday. For the week, Heiser averaged 20 points, 5.3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals per game for the Trojans. According to DAC-Stats NAI statistical website as of Monday, Heiser ranks 4th in the nation in total three-pointers made with 17. He is also 10th in the nation in total scoring with 95 points and 12th in points per game. Heiser dished out a total of 20 assists through 4 games, which is 18th most assists in the NAI. Tanner is a native of Watertown, South Dakota, and a senior professional accountancy major here at Dakota State University. Give Tanner a round of applause.
So Tanner Heiser, again, North Star Athletic Association Player of the Week. Let's talk a little bit about upcoming schedule. Women's basketball will play at Doane in 2 days. That's on Friday. And then women's basketball against Hastings on Saturday. That's both part of the Doane, Nebraska Classic. 5 p.m. game on Friday and 2 p.m. game on Saturday. Men's basketball then hits the road, and they will be at Trinity Bible on Tuesday, and then at Briar Cliff on Saturday. That would be a weekend 3 days from now. Briar Cliff, by the way, also highly ranked, 4th in the country. A lot of good GPAC teams highly ranked, and Midland is among them, Briar Cliff, DWU, with strong early season schedule. Here's Daniels with the rebound. no advantage. There's plenty of Warriors back, but Daniels is going to go up strong. No good. They'll call that on Kevin Daniels. After that first one went in, he really wanted to get that back. So Marquise Chapman will check in. 3 fouls now on Daniels. 9:28 remaining, 8-point Warrior lead. Again, Trojans running a pretty thin bench. They played 7 players consistently, and then just a few minutes out of Nathaniel Rowan. And now Folkers with a bit of a back injury. He's back on the bench, but has not returned since that injury. Here's Bars for 3. Boom! Ian Bars! And all of a sudden, Andy, 5-point lead. They're still within shouting distance, even after having gone a little dry spell there.
Need a couple daggers here.
Daggers. Again, takes the contact in and out. Farco with the rebound.
Give it to Bars for 3.
Heiser slices through. He's looking for a teammate. Oh, man, I thought you called it. Bars goes off the offensive glass and good.
I'll take that, too.
Yeah, I think that's what you called. I think.
Offensive putback. That's exactly what I called.
Ian Bars brings the Trojans back to within 3, 57-54. And they'll call that on Heiser. That'll be his 3rd foul. Not really a problem with 8:03. If he gets a 4th, but I'm not sure that he has come out of the game yet. Such a valuable player, and again, he drives the intensity of the Trojans on both offense and defense. And frankly, all these guys are starting to log real minutes. 7 players, but again, the starters, the bulk of those. Oh, Farquhar with the block. Nice hustle, then kick it back out for 3. Shot clock inside 10 seconds. This is where you stop them. Look at Boomsma playing some defense. A step back 3, no good. Who's going to get that rebound? It's going to be Midland. And a power move inside. Midland goes to the line. A good defensive stop, though, by the Trojans. But that offensive rebound hurt for giving up that offensive rebound, hurt the Trojans.
Yeah, offensive rebounds really hurt you during the games, but DSU still is remaining close in this game. First free throw by Midland is good. Increases their lead to 4.
Henderson now 20 points for Henderson.
Yeah, he's just having a monster game.
Boy, that irritates Coach Garner. And Midland's going to lose it. Those second chance opportunities are clearly the difference in this game. Again, Trojans are only down 4 points, but they've had a number of these second chances. Bars had a hand on it, but couldn't come down with it. Look at Heiser to Chapman. He's going to go for 3. Off the back of the rim, no good. Again, that's Trojans' 24th attempt.
Nice steal by Bars. Picked up by Farquhar. Looks like a hit knee by Boomsma. Puts him at the line. Excuse me, take that back. They're taking it on the inbounds pass. Farquhar gets it, passes it over to Heiser. Booms up to the top of the wing. Down to Bars. Passing to Farquhar. Drives, shoots. Misses the layup. Midland rebounds it, takes up the floor. Nice pass from Midland to score.
Starkle finishes that off. He now has 16 points. Henderson 20 leads the Warriors. Folkers apparently ready to return from that back injury. Here's Bars curling around, but he gets it to Boomsma instead. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Heiser has to take it. .545 remaining in the game, a 6-point Midland lead. We're getting close to crunch time now. Senior Kyle Kilgore exhorting his teammates off the bench. Again, he has a bone bruise on his knee. He'll be out a couple of weeks. Give or take a few days. Coach Garner said you just never know with those. Here's Starkle inside. He's facing Folkers. The spins, goes back. That's off the glass. Nice move. He waited until Justin got on his right hip before he spun backwards to the baseline. 18 points for Starkle and an 8-point Midland lead.
That's a foul.
Yeah, that's a good call. Jacob Watkins Jenkins, a junior from South Bend, Indiana. Again, we mentioned a lot of Illinois players, 5 on this team. Indiana, California, and then, of course, 4 from Nebraska. Starkle, the most prominent among those. A timeout on the floor. 5:09 remaining. 62-54 Warriors lead. Again, we're talking about an upcoming schedule a little bit in this winter sports season. Women's basketball after then a week from Tuesday is at the University of Sioux Falls, and then men's basketball comes back and plays the following Saturday. So plenty of basketball for the Trojans in November, but most of it on the road. In fact, I believe after tonight it's all on the road. And they will play, again, this is the 5th of 5 straight games against GPAC opponents, and they will play some of these opponents a second time, I believe. DW we play a second time. We will definitely play Midland a second time. Again, remember, second annual Wild Game Feed to be held December 1st at the Playhouse. It's a great event. They'll have all sorts of stuff there. It's worth coming out, supporting Trojan athletics.
Got venison and duck and lamb and all those.
Fish even.
Oh yeah, you got to include fish.
That's wild. Oh, there's Folkers with a nice easy basket inside and pulls the Trojans back to within 6. 5 minutes remaining in this game. Here's Washawn Watson. He's trying to dish it off, but finally gets it over to Watkins Jenkins, and they'll call a travel on that. Good call. Watkins Jenkins realized it. Again, Trojans with a bit of a thin bench tonight. They played mostly 7 players. And then Folkers has been out a little while with an injury. I do believe Tanner Heiser has played every minute. They have given a rest to some of the other players. Here's Folkers. Oh, off the back of the rim. 4.5 minutes remaining. Boomsma playing defense on McKinley. Starkle has been a force inside. Here's that baby hook to the left. That's no good. Offensive rebound. A stomped foot from Coach Garner. Starkel's going to go the other way, and he'll finish that off. He now has 20 points to match Henderson's 20, so 2 players with 20. Here's Barse, that's a little long. That's not going to go. 8 points, Trojans still within range, but the momentum at the moment clearly with Midland. Again, with Kilgore out, that just sends the whole rotation, at least logs more minutes for everybody. Starkel again, he's really putting it together. The senior forward from Norfolk, Nebraska. 22 points to lead all scorers. Here's Daniels. He'll get fouled. 15 foul on Midland. Each team has 5 fouls, team fouls. That's going to be the first one, though, on Damon Overton, the senior from East Moline, Illinois. Trojans will take it out under their own basket. 3:17 remaining. Heiser fighting to get free. He gets it low. He wants to get the shot off. Sees Barse slicing through. Ian goes up strong. No call. They'll call that a foul on Farqua. That's a really a judgment call, Andy. You know, he's trying to tie the guy up. Probably had some hand on the ball, a little bit on his arm. What do you call that, a jump ball or a foul? 3:04 remaining in the game. Midland now by 10. And they're again looking to go to Starkel inside. Again, he just keeps working it until he gets his shot off. He hasn't shot particularly well tonight. He scored again those 22 points. But overall, 10 for 20. Dribble drive. Oh, and a sweet finish. We'll let Coach Garner cool off a little bit before we start talking about second chance opportunities for Midland. Nice sweet jumper for Kevin Daniels, the junior from Cincinnati. And a 12-point difference as the clock strikes 2 minutes. Trojans will have to get some stops here.
Down
and go
10.
straight at Barse, and that'll end up being called on Barse. Some players have quite a talent to go up and get that contact and not have to take or be an offensive foul.
Yeah, get Professor Ryan on the job here on the scoreboard to get the points up quicker.
Yeah. Terry Ryan, longtime scorekeeper, is at the table. Third foul on Barse. First free throw missed by McKinley. Second one good. 11-point Warrior lead, 69-58. We're at 1:50 remaining. Heiser wants the three. No, he gives it to Daniels for three. No good. And a rebound by Henderson kicks it out. Henderson's starting to put some numbers together rebounding. That's his 24th rebound. Holy smokes, he is quite a player. Nice block from Farqua, but Starkel gets it back and goes straight up again. You know, Andy, you're not old enough, but that's what Phil Jackson used to look like. A little gangly and bearded and worked pretty well around the basket. We got a timeout on the floor. Midland Warriors 71, Trojans 58. A minute 15 remaining in the game. Let's hit some team statistics. Trojans field goal percentage falling during the course of the game, now under 40%, 39.7. Again, 3-pointers, 8 for 26. A lot of attempts now that for DSU. But no free throws for the Trojans the whole game. No free throws for the Trojans all game. Meanwhile, 40% is all for Midland, but they have taken 15 attempts. Rebound edge now big to Midland. And again, 16 offensive rebounds. We got to make sure Coach Garner has his blood pressure medicine before I tell him 16 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, you might want to be careful on that.
Yeah, I think I will. Individually, scoring leaders, Starkle leads the Warriors with 24, Boomsma with 12 for DSU. Rebounding, again, Henderson 24 rebounds, Bartz with 9. Assist leader McKinley 5 and Daniels with 8 for DSU. Here's Heiser, played every minute so far as I can tell. He gets bumped. Bartz thinks about the three, takes a bump. That'll be a blocking foul. Good call. That's Damon Overton. And Overton just his second personal. 4 Trojan players on the floor with 3 fouls. But again, only 1 minute remaining, so no problem there. Trojans drop it down to Farqua, and then Daniels, he'll step back 2. Offensive rebound goes to Ian Bartz. And he gets it to Farqua. He's going to dunk another one. Back to 11. Coach Garner calling a timeout right away. Andy, that may not be, they may not be thinking necessarily about winning, but they want to be in the habit of playing intensely at the end. So when you score like that in close games, you call that timeout right away. Get reset. Turnover bad, not too bad for either team. 12 for the Warriors, 10 for the Trojans. I think the story of the game might be Alex Starkle and Don Henderson. Between the two of them, 44 points, 30 rebounds. And again, the Trojans a little bit short on big guys to make that, to defend those, with North Star Athletic Association reigning MVP Kyle Kilgore out with an injury. And so Justin Folkers and Bobby Farqua trying to carry the load there, but stick around for the post-game show. We'll have Coach Gary Garner on. We appreciate him coming up to the booth. Win or lose, Coach has been gracious with his time. Don't give him your cold, Andy.
I'll try not to.
Good full court defense from the Trojans against something that Trojans are going to want to work on, be prepared for close games down the stretch. An 11-point Warrior lead at the moment. So the foul's going to be on Daniels. It's his 4th. They won't pull him. Garner wants to keep his 5 best players on the court, or at least situationally the 5 best. A lot of field goals attempted tonight, 130 between the two. They've made 57. Second one missed, and Trojans come up with a rebound. Daniels with the ball, 50 seconds. He gets it to Boomsma. Again, good defense by Midland. Boomsma's going to have the open 3. Boomsma! And again, a quick timeout by Dakota State. They'll call this a short timeout, so we'll stay right here. Boomsma, 15 points. And Andy, 5 for 9 from 3. He has not shot a field goal inside the arc. But 5 for 9 is a nice night outside.
It sure is.
Trojan statistics, Boomsma leads the team in scoring with 15, but 3 other players with 10. Bars, Farqua, and Folkers. Daniels has 8. Heiser also 8. And 2 for Marquise Chapman. Chapman and Folkers both on the bench now as they're working on some end of game strategies. Full court pressure. They'll call this on Heiser. And Tanner now picks up his 4th foul.
Foul on number 24, Tanner Heiser of the Trojans.
40 seconds remaining. 2 players on the court for DSU with 4 fouls. But again, only 40 seconds left. No good. Daniels comes up with a rebound. He advances it quickly. He's on the line. This is a 2. And the rebound goes to Midland. Boomsma will foul. Trying to get as many possessions as they can to let the Trojans back into this thing. They are down 9, but a couple of those threes fall, and it's 3-point difference. So getting these quick possessions and missed free throws only help if you can hit it at the other end, either a 2 or a 3. As time not on the Trojans' side anymore. Clayton Shepard now in the game. Again, as many players as Midland brings, they only played 8. Rolls around and Farqua gets another rebound. Quick advance for Boomsma. He picks up a screen from Farqua. Gets it to Heiser. Knocked away. 18 seconds. Boomsma trying to create his own shot. Gets tripped. And they will say he's tripped on his own. In other words, not an intentional trip. And they will award that ball to Midland. 13 seconds remaining, a 10-point deficit. Stick around for the post-game show. We'll have head coach Gary Garner on. We'll get a statistical wrap-up and a few observations of this game. Now they're going to back off that full court press, let this clock expire, and wrap it up. Trojans will go to 2-3 on the season. Midland to 3-0. Again, both high-quality teams. And they're going to let the clock run down. It's now at 3, 2, 1, and that's going to be the buzzer. That's the ball game. Final score: Midland, Nebraska Warriors 73, Dakota State Trojans 63. We'll have Coach Garner on in just a few minutes. We'll let him get to the locker room and come back. Meanwhile, we're going to take a quick break and come back with a statistical wrap-up and the post-game show right here on DSUathletics.com. We're back at the Dakota State University Fieldhouse. Final score, Midland Warriors 73, Trojans 63. Let's take a look at some stats before we get Coach Gary Garner on the postgame show here. Team statistics first, 49% shooting for Midland, 40% for the Trojans. Trojans, again, probably a record number of three-point attempts, at least in my recent memory, 9 for 28 from three-point land. Midland did not shoot particularly well, but didn't take that many, 3 for 11 from beyond the arc. Free throws, 8 for 20 for Midland. Trojans 0 for 0. Rebounding edge, big to the Warriors, 47-33. They were about the same in assists, steals, turnovers, and blocks. Trojans did have 19 team fouls compared to Midland's only 11. Individually, scoring for Midland, 24 for Alex Starkle, 10 for Don Henderson, 13 for Diamante McKinley, 5 each for Jacob Watts-Jenkins and Damon Overton, 4 for Clayton Shepard, 2 for Wayshawn Watson. Rebounding for the Warriors, here's the big number, Andy. Don Henderson, 24 rebounds. A big game. Starkle and Overton with 6 each, 47 total. For the Trojans, led in scoring by Brendan Boomsma, 5 for 10 from three-point land. And he did not shoot inside the arc tonight. 10 points for Ian Barse.
Seriously, Henderson had 24 rebounds?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and to go with 20 points. So 20 points, 24 boards. That's quite a night. 2 assists. So for the Trojans, again, Brendan Boomsma with 15, 10 each for Justin Folkers, Bobby Farqua, and Ian Barse. 8 each for Kevin Daniels and Tanner Heiser. And Marquise Chapman with 2. Again, a fairly thin bench for the Trojans tonight. They played just 7 prominently. Nathaniel Rowan gets a few minutes, but reigning league MVP Kyle Kilgore on the bench in street clothes with a knee injury. He'll be out a couple of weeks. We talked to Coach Garner and Kyle before the game, and they are both grateful that there is no structural damage and that you can miss this time of year. It's a lot better than missing either during the conference season or the postseason tournament. Rebounds for the Trojans led by Ian Barse with 10. 6 for Heiser, 5 for Farqua, 2 each for Boomsma, Chapman, and Folkers. 4 for Kevin Daniels. Trojans led in assists by Daniels with 9. And 5 each for McKinley and Watson to lead the Warriors. Upcoming games, as we mentioned, on the road. Check out the website, dsuathletics.com, to see if any of those will be webcast by the opposing team. We won't be webcasting those road games. We're just going to be here at home in any sense. So let's, the next game's upcoming Friday, women's basketball at Doane University. That's a 5 p.m. game. And then versus Hastings the next afternoon at 2. Both those games part of the Doane, Nebraska Classic. Men's basketball then at Trinity Bible on Tuesday. That's a 7:30 game. Women play beforehand at 5:30, so a doubleheader at Trinity Bible. Then next Saturday, that's a week from this Saturday, men's team takes on Briar Cliff. And so then other games after that, again, on the road, women's basketball at USF, men at the Midland, Nebraska Classic. That's a Saturday and Sunday game. They'll play Morningside and Midland again. And then men wrap up or start December with a game at Presentation as they get started with the conference play. So we're going to wait another minute or two from the coach. If he doesn't come out, we understand. And we will get him next time. But let's wait a little bit more. Andy, some of your observations about tonight's game.
Well, DC played pretty well. tonight on an all-around game, but when you're playing a high-ranked team like Midland and a GPAC school, it's a tough matchup.
It is, and Midland, I think, deserves that ranking, in my opinion. 3-0 so far in this young season, but they came here on the home floor of the Trojans, also highly ranked in NAIA Division II, and took it right to the Trojans defensively and so on. So, again, we're going to wait about another minute. We did see Mrs. Garner heading out toward the exit. Not sure if the coach is going to make it or not. Coach Larson is out. He's getting a stat sheet from Sports Information Director Nick Huntemer. Other local sports, both Chester High School and Madison High School playing in championship games this week at the Dakota Dome in Vermillion. Be fun to see those championship games. We might travel to one of those.
Indeed, we might.
Well, looks like we're not going to get the coach tonight. So we're going to.
What about?
Let's see if Coach Larson. Yep, looks like he's going to come up. All right, Andy, why don't you turn it over to the coach and see what he has to say. And we welcome DSU assistant coach Mike Larson. Coach, thanks for coming up. Playing Midland tonight, highly ranked team as the Trojans are, but Midland has earned their ranking. Some of your thoughts on tonight's game?
Midland's a very, very good team. Both sides of the ball, one of the best defensive teams we've seen up to this point. So, we played well, played hard. Got to once again crisp some things up. Obviously, we got to learn to block out. Can't give up. One guy gets 24 rebounds, 11 offensive.
Yeah, I was going to give Coach Garner some blood pressure medicine before I started talking about second opportunities. Midland just had a bunch tonight.
Yeah, they had 31 missed shots and 16 offensive rebounds. So they've got more than 50%. They're getting more than 50% of their offensive board. So just looking forward, we got to box out. We're in the game the whole way. If we're boxing out, you take guy gets 24 points or 20 points.
24 boards. Yeah.
24 boards, 20 points, 11 offensive. That's probably 15 points just off offensive rebounds, if not more. You take those away, and all of a sudden it's a ball game. So.
And we're frankly a little thin up at the moment with reigning MVP Kyle Kilgore out with a knee injury. So having Justin Folkers, who had a mid-game back injury, and Bobby Farquhar just gaining experience, Midland seemed to have the advantage up in the front court.
Yeah, and we'll get better. We do miss Kyle. You can't take an All-American off the floor and expect just to be at the same level. But this is good experience for Folkers and Farquhar. They got a lot to learn. They're doing some good things. They're doing some bad things. But that's why you play the games. We play the game to win. But as long as we're learning and getting better, we're accomplishing two things at one time. So.
Talk briefly about Brendan Boomsma leads the Trojans in scoring tonight, 5 for 10 from beyond the arc. And as an aggressive team as Midland is defensively, for Brendan to get his shot off that well is notable.
Yeah, you look what our offense. We end up shooting 40% for the game, but 48.5 in the first half, and have 20 assists on 27 field goals. So once again, we passed the ball really well. We just didn't get enough good shots in the second half. A lot of that's due to just our offense. We got to get more ball movement, pass the ball, and do some things. And a lot of credit to Midland and their defensive effort. They're, like I said, they're a very good defensive team, and they're a top 25 team for a reason. They earned that ranking last year coming in, and then they returned so many players that ranking is a true ranking. So.
Some quick hands, seems like, on Midland.
Yes, just a lot of very, very good basketball players, and sometimes you just got to give teams credit. We feel like we're in the game the whole time, but they beat us to the balls that they needed to beat us to, and that's where the game got out of hand.
So some Trojans hit the road for a little while. They won't be back until December, but I know there's a lot of things you want to accomplish. A couple of classics coming up. What do you hope to accomplish on some of these road games, Coach?
We haven't played a true road test yet, so obviously new team, new tests on the road, doing different things. But our thing I'm most looking forward to, and we're most looking forward to, is we play Trinity Bible on Tuesday, and then we don't play till Saturday. So we got about 6 or 8 practices to really get better, do some things, work on things that we need to work on, and all the while trying to give some time off to let the guys get healed up and rested up, and hopefully maybe get Kyle back before next week. But that's you just never know.
Out of your hands.
Yeah, and that's not up to us, or we'd have him back tomorrow.
Well, very good, Coach. Mike, we appreciate your coming up to the game or to the booth afterwards. Good luck on the road, and we will see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks. That's assistant coach Mike Larson of the Trojans. Been gracious with his time, and Andy, we're glad the coach could come up and visit us.
Yes, we sure are.
So we're going to wrap it up from the Dakota State University Fieldhouse. Final score here at the Fieldhouse, 73-63. Midland Warriors beating the Dakota State University Trojans. So for Andy Hunter, I'm John Hunter. We'll see you next time. DSUathletics.com.
Go Trojans.